how was your vacation?
It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was like 70 degrees, 60 degrees in Oregon versus
Really?
the 114 here.
Yeah, I was dying here. Ooh.
I bet.
Time to get in the car, like it just blows like really terrible hot air at me.
Yeah, it was nice. We meant to go to the country fair, but we ended up not doing that because it was insanely busy. So,
Well,
yeah.
welcome back. This is Become a Bat, your chronological look into Batman all the way from the beginning. I'm Tom,
And I'm Mike.
and today we are finally back to normal.
Yeah, right. Back in
Yeah.
one room recording on a pod track in front of microphones.
Yes. I want to give a thank you to Ryan last week for filling in. I know it couldn't have been easy on the spot, but hopefully, you all liked him.
He's a likable enough guy.
Oh, yeah. So today we're going to be doing Detective Comics number 54, Hook Morgan and his Harbor Pirates, and then Batman number 5, story number 2.
Some interesting, very non-traditional Batman stories here.
Yeah, it was funny though, like this is kind of like a rerun of a couple episodes we've already done in the past.
Yeah, I know. I
Yeah.
noticed that.
Both of them, we did a pirate episode,
Uh-huh.
and we did a like fantasy world one with a professor who like sends them to another world.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
both of these were better than both of those, though, weirdly.
I disagree.
On which one?
I disagree on the pirate one. I like the other pirate one better.
Oh, man. Maybe the other pirate story was better, but Hook Morgan is awesome.
Hook Morgan was pretty.
Yeah.
The pirate himself was better.
Yeah, the story is not
Yeah.
that well written, but the villain is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
All right, so we are going to start with the Detective Comics issue this time.
that's right.
All right, so and you know what? Last week you haven't listened to the episode yet. It's not
No,
out
not
yet.
yet.
I totally spaced on putting in the cover.
Oops.
Yeah, and the splash pages. So
It happens.
the vibe was different last time, but
I'm back.
yeah, Mike's back, so we're back in the groove.
All right, let's get into Detective Comics 54. Hook Morgan and his Harbor Pirates. Art by Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, and George Russos. Written by Bill Finger. And this is the August 1941 issue. So I'm going to talk about this cover because it is a weird one.
Yeah, I noticed it's not very good.
No, like, honestly, I kind of like it in a weird way, but it doesn't look like Bob Kane drew it because he probably didn't. It looks like Tintin or something, or like Popeye. Doesn't it? It has like a much more cartoony look to it with the big eyes and stuff and the little circular faces. And
It's flatter.
it's definitely, it's more 2D. It's kind of like pop arty.
Yeah.
It definitely doesn't feel adult like most Batman covers do. It feels like a little kid's cartoon. And if you look right below it, do you see that picture I posted there? This is
Yeah.
actually a swipe of another cover that was earlier. So it's a swipe of Detective 33.
Wow, good catch.
Yeah, and I saw that immediately because like the car like coming through like the tunnel and everything and the yellow bricks. I was like, wait a sec. But obviously that one, that's like pure original pulp Golden Age Batman. He's got the gun holster and the Batwing cape and everything. And he's just pouncing down on some criminals. Whereas this one, he's like jumping head first like he does in all his fights now. And Robin's being tied up in the back seat. So Robin wasn't even there necessarily in Detective 33. I think that was a pure Batman story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like the cover art to this one was rushed.
Yeah, it looks rushed.
Yeah. And I think that extends to the art in the issue too.
I think the art in the issue is more rushed. This cover art, like, although it doesn't look like Bob Kane, it looks more like Mike Allred or something.
Yeah, like I mean, I dig that vibe, but like just comparatively to the other ones, like
Yeah,
something's different.
it's definitely different. But it does make a couple improvements on the old cover. Like, I really like that they widened the tunnel a little bit, and you can see Gotham City in the background, and you can see the moon back there instead of just one dead tree.
The moon feels so obligatory.
Yeah, but they really like increased the Dark Knight vibe with this cover while simultaneously making it cheesier and more kiddie. So very strange. I love that little Batman in the upper left, the goofy looking Batman with like the crossed eyes.
I think last
So
time we recorded, you mentioned that they still use the old golden, like the original Golden Age look, and now they had like updated it.
Yeah, and actually the original cover doesn't have any little logo up there at all. So
Yeah.
anyways, cool cover. I guess I don't really need to describe it because it's like almost identical to the cover we described in that issue. So
Yeah, we'll post that on Twitter.
all right, now for the splash page. It's a pretty cool splash page. Batman struggling with some pirates up on top of the pier, and then like Robin swinging off the pier on a hook towards some pirates on a ship below firing bullets at him. And it's like all foggy and moody. All right, here we go. Pirates. That word makes one think of a Blackbeard, Captain Kidd, buccaneers of long ago. Yet today, there are still pirates. Honest to gosh, black-hearted, gun-toting pirates who still ride the waterways in fast craft. These are the harbor pirates of today. These are the tough mobsters one can see lurking on the waterfront of most any seaport. Evil, tricky. They are even more vicious than those who sailed under the black flag centuries ago. Read how the Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder grapple with these vultures of the piers and drown the evil practices of Hook Morgan and his harbor pirates. Dun dun dun.
Nicely done.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get into the synopsis.
It's late at night at the Gotham Pier. Some dock workers are unloading valuable cargo. They leave it alone for only moments, and thieves hiding under the pier saw through the boards and steal the cargo. They take off in their boat and fire a few shots at the dock workers as they come running. One of the dock workers gets shot and falls into the water dead. The shots alert the Coast Guard, who lights them up, actually, and quickly pursues them. The thieves pull out some guns and shoot at the Coast Guards. They shoot the spotlight out so they can make a getaway. The Coast Guard ship quickly replaces the light bulb and heads after them again, but they're nowhere to be found. The ship vanished, along with all of the stolen cargo. The next day, Bruce Wayne is on a date with singer Linda Page.
He's already bounced back from Julie Storm, whatever her name was.
We're falling into Playboy millionaire Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Just a millionaire. Just a really rich guy. Anyways.
Socialite.
Socialite. The couple go shopping and Linda takes Bruce to an imported fabric shop. How exciting. Where she approaches the owner about a very exclusive, expensive cloth that he was importing for her. He tells her that it was unfortunately stolen from the pier last night by the harbor pirates. Bruce and Linda walk away empty-handed and concerned. As they walk past another shop window, Bruce notices that they are selling some of the exact same very exclusive fabric that was stolen last night. He makes up a lie to get out of his date with Linda. Then he heads home and changes into the guise of Batman. He heads back to the shop and interrogates the owner about where he got the cloth from. The owner gives him a name and an address. The Cape Crusader heads straight over to Conroy Merchandise Company, the location given to him by the owner.
What a Batman name.
I know. He enters the warehouse and walks straight up to Mr. Conroy himself. Batman asks him about the cloth, and suddenly thugs lunge at him from their hiding spots all around the room and begin beating on him. The ace crime fighter wastes no time. He turns the fight around and cleans shop with the thugs until a large henchman with a hook for a hand clacks him on the back of the head. I don't know why I wrote that. They bind his hands and toss him into a walk-in freezer to die. Batman manages to escape his icy death by headbutting a light bulb repeatedly into a wall until it shatters and using the broken shards to free his hands. He then uses a vial of acid produced from his utility belt to melt the door's lock. The Batman in all his fury bursts through the door and goes straight for Conroy, lifting him up off the ground in a chokehold and threatening to beat him within an inch of his life if he doesn't spill all the information he has about the pirates. With new information about the pirates' next target, Batman calls up Robin at the Batcave via a wireless radio in his boot.
They finally discovered maybe the crotch isn't the best part for
Probably not the best place to keep things. Although, like, it's not like he gets kicked or punched in the crotch a lot, so maybe.
Joker caught on to that in the last issue.
Did he?
Yeah, in the last Batman story. They kidnapped Robin. Okay. Batman was away. He actually thought Batman was dead. And then his gang had interrogated Robin, and they looked for weapons, and they found the wireless on his belt.
On his belt, huh?
Yeah.
Great. That's funny. I definitely still need to read that one.
Yeah, you should read both of those issues from last week. Those were a fantastic duo of comics.
Yeah, I want to listen to the podcast episode first so I can laugh because I won't be fully in the loop, and then I'll read them.
Yeah, do that.
All right. Anywho, out by the pier, Hook and the pirates are in a small rowboat drifting out into open water. They spot the cruiser that they plan to rob next and start to wave frantically for help. They pull up alongside the cruiser and explain that their ship was torpedoed by a submarine and that they have been stranded. So the sympathetic captain brings them on board. Once on board, they pull out guns and hold up the captain and his crew. The captain starts to talk back, and Hook slashes him across the face, shutting him up. Just then, by the way, that's like a kind of a terrifying scene. He's like, "Shut up!" and he swings his claw hand at the guy, and then the guy's like on the ground, like screaming, like probably bleeding everywhere, like brutal.
Yeah, he's got a violent mean streak.
Hook Morgan. Anyways, where was I? Okay. Just then, the Batplane soars overhead, and the dynamic duo dive out of the cockpit and onto the deck of the ship. As soon as they land, they start dealing out punches and kicks. A huge fight breaks out on board. Batman and Robin end up using the fire hose to knock everybody down and take the fight out of them. Then the captain and his crew tie them all up together except for one. Hook Morgan is missing. Robin spots him out across the ocean swimming for a launch boat. So the dynamic duo climb back into the Batplane and fly it straight into the water, where at the push of a button it transforms into a boat. They trail the launch boat till it disappears into the seemingly solid brick wall. Batman inspects the bricks and finds a hidden lever. They push the lever and then park their boat and recklessly barrel down the hallway, hitting the door with such impact that it shatters into pieces. Batman pounces on Hook Morgan, and the two trade blows. Hook manages to get the upper hand. He slashes Batman across the chest, leaving a big, nasty wound. Then sinks his hook into the hero's shoulder. Batman cries out in pain, but like usual, he endures and manages to flip the situation on Hook, then delivers two of his trademark lightning bolt punches. Hook is down, and the day has been saved by Batman and Robin. The police will be along shortly to clean up the mess. The end.
What did you think about this? Okay, so why did you like this one better than the last one?
I think I mainly liked it better because I like Hook Morgan. I feel like the pirates in the last one were just pirates. Like this one, it feels like they had more of like a leader. Like they were more organized because somebody was telling them what to do. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean the pirate captain Blackbeard was just like a gangster posing as Blackbeard.
yeah.
But I like that angle better, where they're like modern gangsters who basically cosplay as pirates.
Yeah, who think they're someone else.
But like there was no lead up to I don't even remember the guy's name because like it wasn't like part of the issue. It's just like at the end they name him and it's like, oh, of course, like we're supposed to know him.
Yeah, see that one, it felt like Scooby-Doo because it was like guys dressed as pirates pretending to be pirates. This is like pirates. They're just guys who kill people and steal their stuff. Like this is like, this is what pirates really are in modern day. So it felt more realistic.
Those pirates in the last one did kill people, though. That's true. They killed the captain of the yacht. The thing I think I mostly like, why I think it edges out, is because it had like more meat to the story with the yacht club people.
Yeah, that did. There were more characters to go over for sure.
More characters. They all had like their own little mini story arcs. It's very impressive for the Golden Age.
Yeah, I think I said that one reminds me of like an Agatha Christie murder mystery or something because you're on this boat and all these people are involved. So that one's like, it has like its own different flair going for it. This just felt like Batman versus pirates, which is what I thought the other one was going to be. The other one is more like a murder mystery. Yeah,
the last one was what the last one like we both thought was going to be, and then this one. Yeah.
Anyways, thoughts?
I pretty much said all my thoughts. Like, I felt like the art was a little bit rushed.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe, or I don't want to cover it just because we've got so much to cover, but, World's Finest 3 or World's Fair 3 or whatever is included in the thing. I haven't looked at the timing, but maybe my theory is maybe it was rushed because they also added that into the mix.
That's very possible, yeah.
Yeah. So possibly, but let me see what else I wrote here.
I think the one thing you wrote in here that you haven't said so far is that the slash across Batman's chest was badass.
Yes.
Because it was.
Yeah, that's like, is that the most brutal thing we've seen?
Yeah, so far,
happen?
Yeah. He's been shot.
Yeah.
And like the slash across the chest was badass. But I feel like the hook in his shoulder it just sounds so much worse. Like just hooking into him and just pulling him forward.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, and we haven't really seen like the bat symbol like get tarnished like that before too so far.
Half the time they forget to even draw it on his chest. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was really cool. I was very surprised actually because normally he's getting shot at, he's getting people are trying to pull knives on him. It's very rare, and he does get punched and kicked, but it's very rare that anything actually like grievously harms him.
Yeah.
So like seeing that big old slash, and it's like bleeding too.
Yeah, it's
not really see blood all that much in these comics.
Yeah, last instance of blood I can think of is was the Napoleon issue, like story,
Yeah.
because he used it as like a trail of blood, make him like Napoleon think he was dead when he like basically killed that goon.
Yeah, and that was almost just sort of like a red herring, like something to like throw them off.
Yeah.
This like was just actual blood coming out of his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Batman bled, guys.
Yep.
Super cool. Yeah. So do I have any other thoughts besides that? Because I think we had pretty much all the same thoughts. I wrote that like the art's a little more cartoonish and stuff like that. Oh, the transforming Batmobile makes another appearance.
Oh yeah.
So that I know for a fact that Frank Miller took that Batmobile from these comics because it transforms exactly the same way as in All-Star Batman and Robin. So that's actually makes me love All-Star Batman and Robin even more.
The Batmobile is getting a lot more prominent.
Yeah, I love it.
And actually, you know what? I'm not gonna spoil the last week's episode for you.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's get into the panels.
Okay. Oh yeah, one of my panels is one of my comments anyway, so that's easy.
Yeah.
I picked this one. I think I picked the first two here. Yeah, I did. So the first panel I picked is Batman like choking the life out of Conroy. Basically, he's got both his hands wrapped around his throat, and it's pretty funny because Conroy has like that Bozo the Clown hairdo, anyways, where he's like balding and he's got like almost like a mohawk in the middle and hair on both sides.
Yeah, he's not a good looking dude.
No, but so like Batman looking so serious and choking the crap out of this guy, and he's just like no, and he's freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, also, I love what Batman's saying because he's like, before I exercise my knuckles on your face, talk. Like,
yeah, he's like very business in this episode. Well,
yeah,
until we get to one of my panels.
Yeah, but in general, like this Batman feels more like Year One Batman.
Yeah,
which makes me think Frank Miller took some inspiration from here too. Because like, look at the next panel which I picked.
Yeah,
which is him removing the wireless device from under his boot.
Yeah,
tell me that's not Batman Year
One.
That
feels very like Batman, like getting down and dirty with his gadgets and like. We just see his like glove. Like, yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, that shot of just like the close up of him taking something out of his boot, it feels very Batman Year One to me. It also feels very like Batman Hush to me. With the way that his suit looks like just a normal suit, but it has all these like hidden mechanisms in it and stuff, like the gas that sprays out of his mask.
Yeah.
So I love that.
Let me do the next panel.
Okay.
Just because I just put it at the end there, but I think it like takes place earlier in the comic. It doesn't even have Batman in it. It's just, it's basically part of the pier getting like sawed from underneath.
It's like Looney Tunes.
Yeah, and I just picked it just because of the dialogue at the top. It says, like evil termites, the men bore through the wooden pier.
I like that.
I've never seen anything compared to evil termites before.
I mean, is there anything but evil termites? They're just pure evil. They just eat your house.
Circle of life.
Yeah, I know.
But they're just, they can't help themselves. But
they're not evil. They're born that way.
Exactly. But these are specifically evil termites.
Yes.
So that's pretty sinister.
I like that scene. Like, I was almost in disbelief when I was reading it. I was like, they're really pulling a Looney Tunes thing right now.
Yeah.
And how the hell did they even get the saw through the pier boards in the first place?
Yeah.
But there's like...
And he's got to be like in the water and like...
Yeah. And they literally left the boxes sitting there for like a couple minutes and walked away. And these guys had enough time to saw this huge chunk out of the pier. Mm-hmm. And then they catch it on their heads. Like, what if it weighed like 500 pounds? They would just be dead.
Yeah.
That's funny though.
Oh.
I think you picked the next one here. It's the Slash.
The Slash? I think... Oh, did I? Okay, I could have sworn you did that. But yeah, I mean, I knew it was something we were both going to pick. With Batman just getting like slashed up.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
Yeah, like
his head's like all the way like kind of knocked back, just like reeling from the pain.
Yeah, and you can almost see like obviously you can see the cut, but you can almost see like that fabric like fraying. It's black, but it looks like it's like all shredded.
Yeah.
But I like too how it says that the pirate leader is an old hand at rough and tumble fighting. And then they said that his hook is a lightning streak of glittering steel. So dramatic.
Makes you wonder if the editor made him like not put blood on the hook.
Yeah, maybe that'd be too much.
Yeah, or maybe it was just such a clean cut that no blood.
Yeah, I like this next one here. I picked this one purely because I just love the way it's drawn. Robin looks like so weird, and so disproportionate. He's like standing on this chair, and Batman's lunging forward to beat the crap out of Hook Morgan. But I just love also how Robin's like, "Give it to him, Batman." Yeah, I love when we're cheering each other on to beat up thugs. It's so funny. And then these are yours.
Yeah, so last one it's a two-parter, but it's the one where Batman, he throws a lifesaver on one of the goons, and he just says, "A lifesaver." And then immediately after that, He's sliding down the stairs on like the armrests, just letting the gravity go down. He's gonna kick the guy.
With both feet and both hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just like sitting on one rail, he's
Yeah.
straddling the entire staircase.
Like I said, he's getting down to business in this issue, but like then he's just doing this childish stuff.
The lifesaver one, where he's like, a lifesaver, and throws a lifesaver. It's like the you've been framed and throws the frame over the guy, except this one is a little more physically plausible because he's standing up above the guy and throwing it at him. So,
yeah. Let's see. Ah, shoot, I forgot to do the like, see, this is the perfect time to start the mid-roll. All right, so yeah, we're getting more used to the new hardware here. So like, I should have started that music a little bit earlier. You're getting a sneak peek at the behind-the-scenes process. All right, so we're gonna take a quick break, and then we will get into the next issue. And we are back. We're going to do Batman number 5, story number 2, Book of Enchantment. Art by Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, and George Russos. Written by Bill Finger.
Such a cool title, Book of Enchantment, when it's really about a book called Fairyland.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
A lot of public domain stuff just all mashed together.
Yeah.
Which, Batman would be in the public domain by now if it wasn't for Disney. So, this issue probably would have been free a few years ago.
This is a pretty cool splash page right here. Do you want to describe it before I get into the panel here?
So, Robin is down, and there's a dragon, like a big, it's a European dragon. Like, it's like a mash between like a European and a Chinese style dragon.
Yeah, it doesn't have the wings, but it's long and skinny like a myth dragon.
Yeah. And is like breathing sulfur, and Batman is running up with a joust.
Yeah.
And he's going to throw it at the dragon, which when we get into the story itself, it's depicted a little bit differently.
Just a little.
Yeah, but it makes for a really cool image.
Right.
You want to read the thing?
Of course.
All right.
Many of us have read tales of fairyland. Have we?
I think we have. Or had them read to us.
That strange land of fantasy and witchcraft. And how many of us have often wondered what would happen if we should be suddenly transported into that bizarre land? It is the Batman and Robin the Boy Wonder who find the answer to that question when they enter into the Book of Enchantment.
That's fun. Hopefully I don't get too annoying with that. So the story begins when Batman and Robin beat up a couple of thieves about to break into someone's house. The owner of the house introduces himself as Professor Anderson, and he needs Batman and Robin's help in rescuing his daughter. But this will be no ordinary adventure for the Caped Crusaders. Anderson created a device that allows people to transport into a book of fairy tale stories and his daughter is stuck inside. So Batman and Robin, they sit at the giant book and they get poofed inside. They first encounter Father Time, who's, ironically, in a hurry. He warns them about the Black Witch and that they must save the girl before the day ends or else they will be stuck in fairyland forever. Just then, the Black Witch flies by and drops off two of her minions, this fire guy and an ice guy. Batman and Robin make them trip on each other, which instantly kills them. And they cancel each other out.
Mm-hmm.
So they start moving ahead when they encounter Simple Simon. I'm not familiar with Simple Simon. Do you know Simple Simon?
Yeah, it's a nursery rhyme.
Okay, I must have never had that one read to me or whatever. Anyway, he doesn't really even do anything in the story. But anyway,
It's just a cameo.
yeah. So Batman and Robin, they eventually make their way into a cave and they're attacked by a dragon. Robin nearly gets slashed by the dragon, and then Batman throws a couple vials into the dragon's mouth, causing it to explode. Then they encounter Humpty Dumpty, who points them in the direction of the Black Witch's castle. which happens to be up a beanstalk. See where this is going?
Mm.
They climb up into the clouds and are picked up by a one-eyed giant. The giant takes them to his castle, puts Batman and Robin in a bird cage, and Batman and Robin eventually break free. They throw a fork in the giant's eye, and then another giant comes by, and Robin manages to knock it down with a swing by swinging a lamp into its head. Robin tricks the other giant to clobbering it on the head, and they get away. So they come across the witch's castle, but it's across this giant fiery chasm. So Batman, he flings Robin to the other side with his like crude catapult he fashions, and then Batman flings himself using the propulsion of like a cut wire. And they get inside and they find out that the witch is about to put Anderson's daughter in her witch's brew. By the way, they never name Anderson's daughter, so that's not me just not saying her name. They didn't give her a name.
She's just not important.
She's just a MacGuffin.
Yeah.
The witch sees them and drops them down a trapdoor and into this torture dungeon. A goblin, a gnome, and two other weird guys. I don't know what they were supposed to be, but they attack Batman and Robin. Batman gets a hold of the little gnome, and the gnome warns Batman that he's got to wrestle the witch, that she'll change into 3 different beasts until she goes back to her original form and she'll have lost her powers. So Batman does eventually, he does just that. He lunges towards the witch and grabs her, and she turns into a lion. He puts her into a headlock, and then the lion turns into a crocodile, and then into a tiger. She eventually turns back into her true form, defeated. She uses all of her strength to tear herself away from Batman, and then she commits suicide by throwing herself off the roof of a castle. Batman frees Anderson's daughter, but there's a problem. Daylight is approaching, and they won't be able to make it back to the spot where they arrived at in time. Robin makes a comment about how he wishes that they had a magic carpet, when suddenly the carpet that they're just so conveniently standing on starts to rise and flies them back to the entrance. They go back to the real world, and Anderson thanks Batman and Robin for their service. The end.
Mr. Anderson.
I was thinking that too.
The whole time. Oh, man.
Yeah.
I love the part where he wrestles the witch, because everybody knows to defeat a witch, you got to wrestle them, right? That's
right.
Common knowledge. And while you're wrestling them, they turn into 3 different animals, because that's totally common knowledge.
That's got to be some kind of like super obscure cultural thing.
I love it though. I love it.
Yeah, Bill Finger like read a bunch of stuff like as much as he could, so maybe that's pulled from somewhere.
I hope so.
Yeah.
If not, it's actually kind of genius because it's so out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny though. I wanted to include some of those panels, but I would have had to put like 4 or 5 of them just to make it in there. But because that was, to me, that was the highlight.
Yeah. There's a panel that I didn't even put in there. Dang. Okay. Well, I'll mention the panel because it was a good one. But
all right, let's see here. So you put this. Well, actually, do you have any thoughts here? You want to go over your thoughts before reading these panels?
I have much more thoughts on this one than the last one.
Yeah.
So like we said earlier at the top of the episode, this one was way better than the Gnomes and Giants episode.
Oh, by far.
So much better. Like, first of all, they didn't chicken out by making this one a dream.
Yeah.
Like, it's got the most fantastical setting that Batman has ever been to so far.
Mm-hmm.
The art, like on this one, comparatively to the last issue we just read, the Pirates one, was far better. Like, there's so much more love to this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had like more energy, more fun drawing. I think it's because they had like more fun drawing like the different storybook characters. Because it's a big change of pace.
Mm-hmm.
From just gangsters and like the urban setting. Also, very funny that they kind of had like ripped themselves off with like the same basic premise of getting like a scientist to send them to a fantasy world.
Yeah.
This was an isekai if you think about it.
You know, this also it leaves a lot of possibilities open that they never capitalize on. Like, this guy's alive. This machine is in one piece still.
Yeah.
Who's to say that he's not still using it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This one also, like, the Black Witch reminded me of the Wicked Witch of the West.
Definitely.
From Wizard of Oz. It only came out like a couple years after the famous version of Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
So yeah. Other than that, I don't know. What else is there to say?
Not much. I didn't write much because you basically covered it all right there in your little synopsis, your little thoughts here. Yeah, that's it. I mean, shit.
What did you think those like 2 guys were?
Which guys?
Like there's the gnome and then the
I don't know. I'd have to look at that picture again to see
yeah,
what
like a
they
goblin,
were.
but
I don't know.
they were definitely drawn really weird, but I liked them.
Yeah, I like all the creatures and stuff in this one. Like this one is a lot more fun to read because there's so many little cameos from different characters and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
What's this first panel you picked here? Is this them being sent into the book?
Yeah. So the first one I chose is when they're being sent into the book. They're standing in front of like the two like I don't know. I'm gonna do this like generator parts of the machine, but Batman and Robin are silhouetted. There's a lot of smoke and just like flashing lights. Very very cool panel.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple. I mean, that's why I picked the next one too. It's basically immediately afterwards, once the machine is activated, they like enter into like this weird state, like outer space or something.
Yeah,
and
they're, like,
it's
falling
space between
in.
worlds, and they're like falling, and like there's planets and stars everywhere. It's pretty cool. It's very like trippy, but yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. And then after that, the one-eyed giant holding Batman and Robin, it reminds me of Andros from Star Fox.
Yeah.
Just because like the floating head and the two hands. It's not floating. It's just like he's surrounded by darkness.
Right.
But it just appears that there's like so much detailed to the giant one-eyed giant monster. Also, just it's funny, one-eyed giant monster.
I know. And he says fee fi fo fum. Like, dude,
Yeah.
come on. You're like,
Yeah.
get some new material.
Yeah.
And that's where Batman says holy cats too.
He does.
Holy cats, more trouble.
Yes.
I want to know what the origination of that line is and why they thought Batman needed to say it. It's fine. I don't have a problem with it, but it's just so random.
I'm guessing it was just something that was like said more commonly back then.
I love this panel too for obvious reasons. Like, tell me that it doesn't look like Castlevania or something.
I was gonna mention Castlevania.
Such a cool panel. I was gonna pick the same one, but you already had it in here. But it's just Batman and Robin like standing on like a cliff, and the castle's in the background. There's like flames, like a flaming moat in front of it almost. The castle's just drawn so damn cool though.
Yeah, this is
and
an
the
epic
fog and the moon. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's a kick-ass panel.
I like how they get through the fire though. They're just like, we'll just shoot ourselves through it with these trees or whatever they are. Like,
Yeah,
what if it didn't work? What if they just shot them straight into the fire?
I don't know. Yeah, I had a tough time like describing how that would like even worked.
Yeah, they basically like catapult themselves, but that's such a cool looking panel.
Yeah, and then the last one, it's a two-part, but it's like the last couple, kind of like the last couple on the last page where they're on the flying carpet and they're flying away and it's a sunset. We got like I'm guessing like Arabian style city or something. I don't even know what they're modeled after.
You know what I was thinking when they just like happened to be on a magic carpet and they wished that Robin wished that there was a magic carpet and boom, there it is.
Yeah.
I was like, there's probably a genie here. Why didn't you just wish that the witch would die and that the daughter would be fine, that you could go back to the real world?
Right?
That's 3 wishes.
Yeah.
Like, come on. There's magic carpets. There's got to be genies too.
All right. You have any final thoughts on this one?
Not really. These were fun reads for sure. You know, you can't really go wrong with like witches and pirates and stuff like that. Not really like what I was expecting out of a Batman story, but it's not the first time that we've seen either of these types of things. So
Yeah, this one was a far improvement. So
yeah, definitely.
I like this one. All right. So we're going to wrap it up for this episode of Become a Bat. Thank you for listening. We're going to be covering the newest issues of Batman and Detective Comics pretty soon at the end of this month. The episode will probably be out by the time you're listening to this one. So
similar format to this too, right?
Yeah, but we'll be covering the modern stuff.
And hopefully we can get a third party for those episodes. So we can, our friend Paul, which you guys have heard on a couple other episodes, much more in tune with modern Batman stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for listening.
See you later.